Deep thinking leads to a higher life. The deeper you think, the higher you rise. Barbara Ehrenreich, an American author and political activist, once set out to investigate a question that troubled her deeply. Why do the poor stay trapped at the bottom of society? With just $1,000 in hand, she traveled to 6 different cities and took on various jobs: sales clerk, cleaner, elderly caregiver, living the life of the working poor. She rented the cheapest rooms, worked tirelessly day and night, and yet, no matter how hard she tried, she could never save enough money or find a way out. Through this experience, she came to a powerful realization. The poor are burdened by low-level suffering, constant exhaustion, financial stress, and lack of opportunity. This kind of suffering keeps them stuck in an endless cycle of poverty and busyness, where no real progress is made. Not all hardship is meaningful. Some forms of struggle only drain our energy without giving anything in return. Before we go further, remember, follow the channel and turn on notifications to receive more insights on money, mindset, and how to break free from the chains holding you back. Let's unlock financial freedom together. In the 1990s, a new term was born: working poor. These are people who work harder than most, taking on extra shifts, commuting for hours, working weekends from dawn till midnight, and still, they can't escape poverty. Like donkeys tied to a millstone, they work endlessly in circles, never moving forward. Warren Buffett once mentioned such people in the financial world: hardworking, dedicated, but constantly exhausted. Despite giving their all, their lives remain unchanged. Why? Because they only work hard, but never think about working smart. They never pause to improve their skills or increase their efficiency. Hardship alone isn't a stepping stone unless it's combined with reflection, strategy, and growth. If you keep your head down and work blindly, you may miss the bigger picture and fall deeper into life's traps. I have a friend who worked as a bank teller right after graduation. He believed that hardship would lead to success. So he gave everything, dealing with endless customers, studying procedures late into the night, practicing counting money until his hands cramped, and smiling in front of the mirror until his cheeks ached. He was admired by his managers. But a few years later, when he wanted to change careers, he realized he was stuck. His skills were basic, limited to the teller position. If only he had used that time to learn more about finance, technology, or new industries, or pursued valuable certifications, his future would have been far brighter. He learned too late. It's not about how hard you work, but how wisely you choose to grow. As a journalist once said, "We build walls around ourselves brick by brick, through hard labor that traps us instead of freeing us." Effort without direction leads to burnout. Persistence without purpose leads to stagnation. Suffering without awareness leads nowhere. Chinese author Jean Dufen once classified suffering into 2 types: unconscious suffering, repetitive, meaningless pain that doesn't help us grow; conscious suffering, the kind that pushes us to reflect, to change, and to evolve. Most people endure the first kind, working late into the night, scrimping on every penny, living in cramped spaces, eating poorly, yet never progressing. These are low-level hardships, and they rob us of our energy without building us up. True resilience lies in the ability to think deeply, persist purposefully, and choose the right struggles. A successful entrepreneur once asked, "Why do only 5 out of 1,000 people reach the top of their industry?" After leading a company of over 100,000 employees, he discovered the answer. Most people would do anything to avoid thinking. But those who are willing to embrace high-level suffering, the suffering of thought, strategy, and self-improvement, are the ones who rise. Take Wu Jun, author of Global History of Technology. He didn't rush to write. He spent years thinking, studying, questioning. Instead of copying others, he asked, "Why should I write this book? How can I make it clear and impactful?" He learned new skills, spoke to experts, challenged his own ideas, and in the end, created a masterpiece. High-level suffering is a struggle of deep thought. People who only labor physically but avoid mental growth remain stuck. But those who dare to think deeply elevate their lives to new heights. The Dreyfus brothers once created a model for skill mastery, from novice, advanced, beginner, competent, proficient, expert. Your place in this model often reflects your place in society. Robert Kiyosaki described the rat race as people running in circles, trapped in routine, too busy to pause or reflect. They mistake effort for progress, yet never escape. Hard work is not rare. What's rare is meaningful suffering, the kind that transforms, uplifts, and leads you to freedom. The Ming Dynasty scholar Feng Menglong once wrote, "Those who cannot endure hardship cannot become leaders." But not all hardship is equal. For years, many believed that enduring pain in business guaranteed success. In truth, they only ended up exhausted, never truly leading, never truly free. Everyone must suffer in some form, but you must choose your suffering wisely. Don't waste your life on meaningless struggles. Don't endure blindly. The more you suffer meaninglessly, the less courage you'll have to chase the life you truly want. You'll begin to believe, "I've suffered enough. This must be my limit." But the truth is, you've simply chosen the wrong kind of pain. A Harvard psychology professor once said, "To rise to the upper class, you must bear high-level suffering." These are the struggles that make you more valuable, that help you stand out, grow, and lead. Only when you willingly embrace these can life begin to flow in your favor. By enduring the pain of discipline, thought, and learning, you'll discover truth. While you're still sharing a room and squeezing into the subway, your peers have already bought homes, started businesses, and are living the dreams you once had, because they chose the right kind of pain and used it to rise. The power of the pause. Why slowing down can help you rise faster in a bustling city. A young man named Lin worked as a delivery driver. Every day, he zipped through traffic, racing from one location to another. He rarely stopped to eat, never took breaks, and worked 14-hour days just to save enough to support his family. One day, while waiting at a traffic light, an elderly man in a suit approached him. "You move fast," the old man said, smiling. "But do you ever think about where you're going?" Lin chuckled. "I don't have time to think. I just need to keep moving." The old man handed him a business card. "When you're ready to change your life, come see me." Weeks passed. One rainy evening, exhausted and frustrated, Lin remembered the card. He visited the address and found the old man running a quiet library and study center. It wasn't a business. It was a place for thinking people. There were no meetings, no rush, just books, ideas, and deep conversation. Lin started coming back every week. He read about finance, psychology, and business. He learned to manage his money, speak confidently, and plan for the future. A year later, he quit his job, not to escape it, but to build something better. He opened his own logistics company. It was small, but it was his. The lesson: speed doesn't guarantee success. Direction does. Sometimes, slowing down to reflect is the fastest way to move forward. Everyone is in a hurry, but only the wise stop to ask, "Where's this path really taking me?" The bricklayer and the architect. Choosing who you want to become in a small town, two young men started working on a construction site. One carried bricks, day in and day out. The other spent hours in the office, learning to read blueprints, studying building design, and asking engineers questions during lunch. After 5 years, the bricklayer had built strong muscles, but little else. His job was secure, but limited. The other man, he had become an architect. He wasn't stronger, but he was smarter. He now designed the buildings others built. People listened when he spoke. He had choices, opportunities, and freedom. One day, the bricklayer asked, "How did you do it?" The architect smiled and said, "I didn't just build buildings. I built myself." The lesson: if you only build someone else's dream, you'll carry bricks forever. But if you invest in your mind, you can design your own future. Hard work matters, but in the long run, mindset and vision matter more.